Good morning, Sean Campus. Welcome to our coffee hangout. Today, I wanted to start by going over some of the marriage communication masterclass that we did yesterday. Um, I'm not gonna go into too much of what everything is that we taught necessarily, but I do want to go over um, some some concepts that come out of what we're doing in there. So one of the definitions that we have that is helpful to us is we have the idea of the definition of what's our purpose, or actually, it's the focus of what's our purpose. In the previous slide to this was a definition, but um, what's our purpose is a useful thing to discover. And I'll start with just what's on the slide because I think that'll be helpful. Um, Purpose and what we're defining in our communication masterclass was to serve people around you. And then, so we do that by us growing ourselves into a person of awareness and focus and growing what's on the inside, which will produce for others on the outside. So, when our definitions are right, and this is the first thing that we do in our master classes, we actually um, do some definitions. And when our definitions are right, then that leads us to the spaces that we want to be in life. And so the conversation that I want to have with you this morning is, what are your outcome definitions? What are your reasons for or the things that you're defining in your life, and which gives you the reasons for your behaviors. So often our behaviors are the things that we look at, and we are concerned because we're like, man, I'm not getting the things that I want. I'm not I can't maintain the behaviors that I want to maintain. And it makes sense that that would be the case if your definitions are off, if your way of looking at or visualizing your long term is off. And so the simple response to us having behaviors and doing things that we don't want to do, or to getting more of the things that we want to have, is start by changing some of your definitions and defining a little bit more about what's going on in your life. And so as an example, what we did in the marriage communication class, we started out with the definition. This marriage communication mastery definition helps guide what it is that we're teaching. This It helps us focus in on, this is what we're trying to learn. So the ability to share with your partner internal and external experiences that results in unification of two and the growth of each individual, and it doesn't have an endpoint. And so um, as we are discussing it now, we can stay focused on the definition that we agreed on together, or at least that we're saying together. And um, and then and then it's easier to be able to follow and get on the same page. Okay, so how does that work in real life? Well, if you haven't made a definition for how things go in your life, let's take the idea of marriage on its own, not just marriage communication. If you haven't defined what marriage means to you and come to a mutual agreement, or um, the idea that you both have the same vision about what marriage looks like in your life, you guys could have two different ways of seeing marriage, of doing marriage, of being in marriage. And when that happens, it's not a matter of somebody not wanting to be married, or somebody not wanting to do good. It's a lot of times a matter of two people doing the best they can do based on the experiences that they've had in life, and it's not headed in the same direction, right? So I think that's a marriage concept. What about individually? Well, individually, if you feel like, man, my behaviors are not where they need to be, and I keep ending up with things that I don't want to have in situations I don't want to be in that case, you haven't clearly defined what it is that you want to be doing in life. You haven't clearly defined what your actual goal is. And if you have it tucked away somewhere, and so you're not conscious of it, right? So you have to put a definition in your life, or put definition, start defining things in your life that help to guide the direction that you're headed in, right? So your marriage needs definitions, how you're raising your children needs definitions, the way that you'll live your life needs some kind of defining. So you'll notice that we have a definition here, and then on the next one, um, I put defining actually a word, like what is this, what is this idea for me, like what's my purpose, right? And so that's as much as a definition, like it's a way of us defining something that we're trying to do in our life. And so find those areas. I would encourage you to get a piece of paper out. You probably should already have a journal, but get a piece of paper out and start writing down things or endpoints that you want to have. And in those endpoints, you can back down from it. So, and start breaking down those definitions. So let's say that you say, mm, I want to be, I want to be a doctor, right? That's where I want my life to end at. I want to be a doctor. Okay, so um, go back, and what kind of things do doctors need to be doing? Well, I should be wearing scrubs, right? So I'm gonna be wearing scrubs every day. What should I make my purpose if I'm a doctor? Well, my purpose to be able to save people's lives and help people out. All right. So then those are the my purpose definition will look something like that. Right. That's an example, because I don't think that's a good purpose to have, or it's not going to be useful to you. But as an example, you would come up with that. And anything that you come up with that's not right per se, you can go back and hone later as you're trying to work on it. But it gives you a direction to be able to do that. All right. So I think that it's useful for us to start by defining something in order for us to get to the place that we want to get to. In our first day of marriage communication masterclass, we did that. We started by defining a couple of, you don't need a whole lot of definition. You just need a couple of things. We just defined what it means to have marriage communication mastery, and we defined um, what our purpose is going to be as we're looking at trying to revamp our communication. All right, you guys, enjoy your day. If you will be on our masterclass this afternoon, I will see you then. And if not, if you haven't got a chance to join our masterclass, please look into it for next week. We have it going on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.